Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chicken Possible with Rewards Hunter, back with another Microsoft Rewards punch card guide. So we've got quite a few different punch cards that are available right now within the Rewards app. The main one that I'm going to be focusing on here in this video is the powerful Women of Game Pass punch card worth 500 rewards points. You can also use the achievements that we're going to get for this in the Rewards Weekly set and also in the March monthly bonus round if you have that punch card, as well as Achieve More, Earn More, and the weekly Game Pass quest to earn an achievement in a Game Pass game. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Powerful Women of Game Pass punch card. So this one is worth 500 rewards points. It needs to be finished by the 31st of March, and we need to unlock 3 achievements in one of the top 10 games that are listed at the top of the screen and over on the description at the left. Now, there are actually 2 games that are listed in the description that will not work for this, basically because they don't have achievements. One is Slime Rancher 2, and the other one is The Witch in the Woods, The Little Witch in the Woods. So neither one of those has achievements, so there are really only 8 games that you could use for this. Now, if you want to, Contrast is probably the easiest for this, so I'm going to link to my Contrast playlist in the description. If you haven't gone through and collected all the achievements in that game as part of the Rewards Hunter community before, you may want to grab the first 3 in that game, because that might be faster than what I'm going to show here. But if you have already collected all the achievements in Contrast with me before, my next best selection for this is going to be the Mirror's Edge Catalyst game. So that's the one that we're going to use today in this video. It's going to take about half an hour or so. I'm not going to show the entire playthrough. I'm going to skip over some parts of it. And I also want to point out before we get started on this that this punch card did not actually work for me today. I know a lot of times these top 10 punch cards can tend to be kind of buggy for the first day or two, so hopefully they'll get the kinks worked out and everybody will be able to get their 500 rewards points out of this. But just to note, at the end of this video, you will not see the 2 green check marks on my punch card because it doesn't appear to be working today. But we'll talk more about that at the end of the video and what you can do if you're having that sort of trouble. But let's go ahead and get started in Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And if you are starting from the middle of a game, you may want to just pause the game and go to select a new game so that we can start from the very beginning. And there's an achievement that you probably don't have that is at the very beginning of the game. So we're just going to start there and we're going to grab this first achievement. So I'm going to show you myself kind of messing up this first time around and show you what not to do here when you first start out in the game. So as soon as you get control of your character, you'll be facing this screen and you'll see this Kruger guy on screen here, and you can go ahead and start moving around. And what they want you to do is walk to the right side of this area and go through and basically exit the prison that you've been in. But you saw I moved kind of quickly there at the very beginning. What we need to do in this section is walk extremely slowly. So you want to be very careful with your thumbstick and not move too quickly at any point. If you do move too quickly at any point and you notice that you kind of lunge forward, then you want to restart at the last checkpoint. So you're going to have to move through this area to the exit very, very slowly. So this is very tempting to not move slowly. I mean, you want to sprint in this game. It's all about running and speed running and parkour and that sort of thing. So what you want to do is just move forward toward the exit very slowly. Just use your left stick very gingerly, and this is basically the pace that you want to be walking at. Now, I am going to speed up here just for the sake of the video, and I'm just fast forwarding at this part, but just note that I am walking really, really slowly. This took me about 1.5 minutes to walk through these doors to get to this stairwell here. So just walk super slowly as if you're almost crawling to get to the end of it, and you just have to have a lot of patience. And if you are able to walk that whole distance and not sprint at all, then when you get to the top of the stairs here, and just as you start to go down the first step or 2, you should get the first of the 3 achievements that we're looking to get in Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And that one definitely requires the most patience to get it done. Like I said, if you do mess up, just restart from that last checkpoint, and you should be able to try it out again and grab that achievement just by walking through that area. So you get that law-abiding citizen achievement there. And as soon as you get it, then you can start sprinting. You don't have to worry about moving slowly throughout the rest of this playthrough at all. So we'll go through this red door and meet up with Icarus. You can hold down the A button to skip any of the cutscenes that are in this game, so you can use that to save yourself a little bit of time in this playthrough. And again, I'm not going to show absolutely everything that happens in this playthrough. There's some sections where you're just basically following a very set path, and it shows you what to do. It really holds your hand as you go through it. So I'm not going to cover all of those areas, but anywhere that I think, you might need a little assistance, I'm going to be sure to show those sections in the video here.
It's causing the interference.
So we'll skip over the rest of that cutscene with Icarus, and we just want to follow him. He's going to show us where to go, and he's going to get us started on the red path, I would call it. So we're going to be following a red path as we move through the city and go on these different adventures. You'll sometimes see a little outline of yourself like what we saw right there. But what we're going to do is run forward and hold down the left bumper to jump up this first ledge. So left bumper is going to be basically your jump button. It's going to be the button that you press most often. Now you can change that in the control setup if you want to, but by default, left bumper is the button that you want to use in most situations, especially early on in the level here. So again, we're just looking for those red areas and following all of those. That is the path that you need to be going on to proceed through the game. Right here, we're going to hit the left trigger to slide under that little air conditioning duct. And then we're going to use our left trigger to slide right here and work our way down the stairwell. We'll encounter our first enemy right here. So this is one of the K-Sec guards, I believe they call them. So we're just going to move up to him and press X a few times to use the light attack against him and knock him out. Now we're going to use the right trigger to kick through this door. And again, we're just going to be following the fairly obvious path here, just jumping when it tells us to jump. Sometimes we're going to have to slide using the left trigger, and it will be fairly obvious where you need to be going. So we're going to vault over this and keep sliding underneath this. Sometimes you'll have to jump over fences like this right here and use your left bumper to do that. Again, right trigger to smash through a doorway. And then we're going to climb this ladder. You just have to walk up to ladders to start climbing them. There are some spots where you have to use your balance, so just kind of use your left stick to make sure that you stay balanced on the red pipe as you go across, and you'll be able to make your way over here to the next area. So I feel like this section of the game is pretty straightforward. It does a really good job of telling you what to do as you're proceeding. So I'm going to skip forward ahead just a couple of minutes to the next big area where there's something of note that happens. So you'll crash through a door and you'll meet up with Icarus again. So you get to talk to him again.
I asked nicely, but he wouldn't step aside.
And then we can skip over his cutscene by holding down the A button. And then it'll tell us about runner's vision, so we can click the right stick to turn on runner's vision. And that's basically just going to give us more of those indicators of where we need to be going. So you saw me using the left bumper to jump to the pipes there and do some wall running. So we'll skip ahead just a little bit more here. And after a couple minutes, you'll come to a section with a zip line. So you'll just jump up, grab that, and zip across. And we've got another little balance section right here. And we'll have to do some jumps and swing on some pipes to get across.
Seems 2 years in prison only made you better at this. Get to Orion.
I'll have to do a little wall run here. And then when you get to this section, you can just break through the door, and then you get another cutscene here where you meet up with Icarus again. So we'll skip that one. And now we've got a little bit of combat to do. So this is just kind of practice combat. So you're going to hit the Y button to do most of your combat attacks from here on out. And sometimes you'll have to go up to these guys and press in a direction. So here we're going to press to the left and hit Y so that he slams into those bags that are over there. This is just a regular Y, and then we're going to do a wall run. And now we're going to kick the guy to the right so that he slams into his buddy that's there. And we'll be using some of these attacks coming up in just a little while. We're going to have to do some more fighting against some of those real K-Sec guards. But right now we're just in kind of the practice zone.
In case the comms have calmed down a little, but they know you're out there somewhere, Faith. And they know you'll have to go through the tower to get out.
So in just a minute, we're going to have to do some aerial attacks where we jump up into the air and then hit the guy on the way down. So you can't just run through this and attack the guy. You want to hit the left bumper, jump up in the air, and then hold down the Y button to kick him as you're flying towards him. So that might take you a time or two to get through there, but that is how you get through that section. So left bumper to jump up in the air, and then hold down Y to attack him. So we're going to do a wall run attack right here.
That's right, Faith.
And we're almost through these aerial attacks at this point. So you can also do one with when you're sliding underneath like that with the left trigger. And then we've got one last attack here, swinging off of the pipes and kicking the guy. Now in the next section you'll come outside and go up this ladder, and then you'll have another cutscene where you come out on top of the building. And we've basically completed this section at this point, the tutorial section of the game, but we do need to head back to the base where all of the rebels kind of live and camp out and have their home base at. So we're just going to run along the roofs just a little bit more to get towards the base. Just follow the very obvious path to get there. And once you're at the lair, then you will climb over this wall and it will say that release has been completed. So that is basically our first mission completion, and we're going to get an achievement right there. So this should be your second achievement out of the 3 that we need for completing that first mission. So you'll get the reunion achievement right there. And now we're going to just continue following the red path to get inside of the lair and get back to our home area, and then we're going to have to pick our first mission coming up. So when you get up to this sort of reddish maroon wall here, you want to press A to start the reunion. We'll have another cutscene here. So we'll skip that, and then we need to get the package that is waiting for us. So just head back deeper into the lair here, and you'll find the package that has your clothing and everything that you need inside of it. So we'll just press A to collect that, and she'll put her gloves back on. And then we're going to have an upgrade point that we're going to need to spend here in a second. So our third achievement that we're going to get is for spending 2 upgrade points. This is going to be our first upgrade point right here. We're going to need to get one more after we use this first one. So let's go ahead and press the view button on our controller. And then we are going to select the gear section. It wants us to buy a very specific upgrade here. So we're just going to press down a few times to get down to the third section, which is gear. And then we're going to select the beat map, the one that's highlighted in red there. So after you've done that, you'll have access to the map. You'll be able to use this from now on. So we're going to zoom out a little bit and go over to the right and look at this follow the red, talk to the Birdman. We're going to press X on that to set a waypoint like this so that you see the little triangles leading to it. Then you can press B a couple of times and you should have a red path now that you can follow to get to that mission. And we're actually not going to do this mission. We're going to start working our way towards this mission, but as soon as we get contacted by this guy, the Nomad, we're actually going to change gears and switch to his mission. We'll just skip this cutscene with the henchwoman there. So keep following the red path, and we're waiting for the Nomad to contact us, which he should do that in just a second as we're heading over in this direction. Here we go. So he's contacting us now. So once you get to the edge of this roof, just kind of pause here and let the conversation play out for a second. And this is where we're going to switch our waypoint.
I'm on my way to Birdman.
Yeah, I heard. I say that
So now we're going to hit the view button and switch to this mission that's over to the left, the Old Friends mission. So make sure you press X to set a waypoint on that to go over to Nomad. And we're going to turn to the left, and now we're going to follow this other path that's just been added for us. And Nomad is actually not very far away. He's just a couple of rooftops over. So we'll just work our way over to Nomad here. Have to do one little wall run right here, and he's right on the edge. He's living dangerously for sure. So press A to talk to Nomad, and then you can skip his cutscene as well if you want to. And now we're going to follow this path. So Nomad's quest is basically to do some fighting, so we need to practice our fighting skills. We're also going to be collecting these different chips that we find along the way. So make sure that you accept the Old Friends mission here, and we're going to collect the first control chip right here. We're going to be collecting one of these after each one of our battles coming up. So turn around, go through that red door, and we're going to keep following the path to get to the next waypoint that we've got. So this is going to be similar to the combat that we had earlier, but it's going to be just a little bit different too. They're going to add just a little bit more difficulty in fighting these KSAT guards. And the main thing that you want to do is basically hit your right trigger and then move your left stick. So hold down the right trigger, move with the left stick to dodge around the guard, and then you're going to press Y to attack them. And that's really all you have to do in this mission, is just keep using your right trigger, left stick to dodge the guard, and then press Y. And then as soon as you finish with the guard, you should be able to find a control chip nearby. And then we'll just keep following along with the path. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit to the next section where we've got some guards to fight against, and we're just going to use that same sort of combat skill that we've been using. And the only difference here is you can knock them into stuff or knock them into each other, and that will take the health down for both of them. But just right trigger, left stick, and then Y. That's basically all you've got to do for these combat sections. And then just be sure to always grab the control chips. So that's our third control chip total.
Got another one.
Great.
And then we've got one more we've got to grab. You want to work your way around kind of the back of the building here. And there is a ledge here you can jump up onto. And then you can proceed on to the last set of guards that's coming up here. And we've got 3 guards in this section, so it's a little more tricky. I would recommend fighting this first one on his own if you can kind of keep him separated from the other ones. But just keep using those same skills where we dodge around to the back of the guard and press Y to kick him or punch him when he's not looking. And if you can knock him into another guard or into any of the units over to the side, then that will help to take his health down so you can knock him out. So we've almost got this guy. There we go. Got him. All right, and we'll go grab the 4th control chip here.
Okay. I got the last one.
Good, but we have a problem. There's a lowcast and trouble's happening.
Now, in this section, you want to quickly climb up this pipe to your right after you've collected the 4th control chip. And we're going to need to jump over and go down the zip line here to protect an innocent guy that's down here, and he's getting beaten up by the guards. So we'll want to knock all these guards out and protect the innocent guy. No more control chips to earn here, but we're just trying to kind of protect the innocent right here. And this will finish up this mission, and this will help us to get our next upgrade point that we can use to get our 3rd achievement. So just kind of hang around here for a minute, and after this conversation is complete, then you should have enough to get your upgrade point here.
Yeah, she takes after her parents.
So now we'll hit the view button, and this time we're going to spend our upgrade point on movement. So just go to one of the movement items that is highlighted in red and select one of those. And then you'll just press B a couple of times to get out of the menu, and then you should get your 3rd achievement right here for using your 2nd upgrade point.
Okay, now we need that first handful of chips delivered.
So we've got the Learn to Walk achievement there.
Dead drop with the marker on your map.
And that is basically all we need to do for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So at this point, you should be able to start turning things in, switch over to the Microsoft Rewards app, and you should be able to click on these 2 links to get your 500 rewards points. Again, it did not work for me today. I kept testing it, kept trying it out, but it never actually worked. So hopefully it'll start working tomorrow or the next day. After a couple days, these bugs usually get fixed with these top 10 punch cards. If not, if you're not able to get it, throughout the month, if it stays broken the entire time, then I do always have the support form that is linked in all of my video descriptions here on YouTube. So you can always turn to that in the end and request help if you have any missing points that you weren't able to claim for one reason or another like this. So that is an option if you're not able to get your 500 points during the month of March. Like I said, I think they'll fix this in the next day or two, but just in case, that support form is always there. It's always linked in the description, and you can use that to contact the rewards support team to get help with stuff like this. So you can use these achievements for the Powerful Women of Game Pass punch card. You can also use them for the Rewards Weekly set this week. Don't forget to click on Achieve More, Earn More, and you can also use these towards the March monthly bonus round punch card for 2,000 rewards points if you're in the United States, the UK, or Canada. I believe those are the 3 countries where those punch cards are appearing. But that's going to do it for this week. I'll be back as more punch cards become available and as more quests become available in the Game Pass app. So I'll look forward to seeing you all in those guides. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found that video helpful, please be sure to click the subscribe button here on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. You can also find some helpful links in the description if you want to stay connected. Stay tuned for more Microsoft rewards and achievement guides, and I'll see you in the next one.